she is just the kind of person that I have always felt and the Chamber has always felt we can call whenever anything happens in our technology world. And she has set us up with our computers. She has taken care of the management of them, the protection of our data, which is mind-boggling amount. And also she is the one who gets in touch with me and says, what do you mean you have hundreds of thousands of emails sitting on your computer? But at any rate, I can't speak highly enough about her accessibility, her availability, and her knowledge. And so we're very, very glad to have Lori Tisinai today, and I'm going to ask her to give you a little background about her experience and what brings her to this point. And then she'll also tell you about this wonderful, not so wonderful, report that you're going to get after the fact and what it means. So without any further ado, please help me welcome Lori Tisinai.
Thank you. All right, hello, my name is Lori Tisinai, and I'm the owner of Computer Concepts. I'm really excited to be here today to talk about one of my favorite topics, which is cybersecurity. When I first started in my business over, I don't know, since 1999, that's a long time ago. I don't think I really want to do the math. You know, business really was different for me. We were just helping people set up computers, get them connected to the internet. You know, we had dial-up at the time when I first started my business. And things have obviously changed over time due to the threat landscape changing and due to the technology changing from time to time. So as what Joanna has said, I'm the owner of Computer Concepts. We do corporate training, so we teach you how to use the various programs that you use every day on your computer. And again, as things have changed over time, we're really helping people not only with their computers, but also with the protecting of the data that you have on your computers and the data that we have stored up in the cloud. So there's a lot of information out there today that we have, and we always want to protect not only our personal information, but also our customers' information. We want to make sure that something doesn't happen to that, because that can cause us reputational harm for our business. And we'll see some of those cases and some of those instances today. So the title of my presentation today is Navigating the Cyber Threat Landscape and its Strategies for Small Business Protection. Again, not only is this small business protection, this is really today your personal data, your business's data, your family's information, and you know, it goes up to the enterprise level, and we'll talk about that as well. So no matter what the enterprise is doing, you need to be doing that as an individual and most definitely as a small business. So the evolution of cyber threats have really changed over the years. I remember when I first got started in technology, we were training a class, and the entire large pharmaceutical company in the area was completely shut down because someone had clicked a link and a virus was spread at that company. Like, no computer worked. The entire system for thousands of employees in Lake County were down. And back at the time, really that evolution at the time, the person that created that virus, might have been the I love you virus, was just to get the recognition amongst other threat actors that just wanted to say like, ha, I'm able to take down an entire company. It really wasn't about the financial gain. It was just about showing how good they were, how technical they were, that they were able to take down an entire company. Many years ago, maybe 10 years ago, you may remember there was another threat, and over in Europe, everything was shut down for several days. Does anyone remember this? Grocery stores, train stations, no one could buy anything. WannaCry? Yeah, the WannaCry. So who are these threats? There's actually Revel. Have you guys heard of some of the hacking instances that have been in the news? Lori? Yeah. How many of you have heard about Lori's Children's Hospital? Yeah. Their entire system was taken offline for over a month. Could you survive as a small company today if you were not able to access any one of your computers? Imagine the phone numbers, your contact information. You can't access it. You can't get it on your phone. You can't get it on your computer. You have to go back to paper. Are you prepared for that? Do you have a backup plan? I mean, these are some things to think about. I don't even need to ask for a show of hands. I can almost guarantee you that you are all using same or similar passwords. Sparkle, and then you changed it to Sparkle 1, does not mean that you changed your password. Oh, but Lori, I changed it now to a capital S one with an asterisk at the end. Let me tell you, I'm no joke. I can almost guarantee you that that is happening to most everybody here. And so those credentials are on the dark web. Identity theft. How many of you have your credit frozen? Everybody's hand in this room should be going up to freeze your credit. Experian had an incident several years ago, and it leaked millions of data records out onto the dark web. All of your personal information, your credit history, that's out there. Your Social Security information could be out there on the dark web. So you really want to take what we know is a possibility and try to limit and mitigate the risk that you have. It seems like these virus malware protection companies, they're the ones that are consistently emailing me and filling up my inbox, telling me that I just paid $499 and they charged my credit card. And I'm getting these all day long. How many of you are getting these emails all day long? Or you just were charged something on your PayPal account or your Venmo account. Yeah, it's not actually coming from those companies necessarily. It's actually just coming from scammers that are, you're on an email list, your friend or family or business associate or vendor compromised your email address, and now you're just going to be bombarded potentially by that customer, by that person, that company's name, or just bombarded by emails. The trick to those, a lot of times, they're just phishing. They want you to call them, and they then are going to say, oh, well, we'll give you a refund. And then they say, oh, but where do you bank? And you tell them where you bank. And these people are very good. I want to let everybody know when people are like, oh, how could somebody be so naive about something like that? These people are trained. These are not, again, this is not some guy living in his basement. I mean, sometimes maybe it is, but I mean, these are people that are really trained and they're very good at what they do, and they're feeding you. And then they say, oh, well, we'll help you get that refund back, right? Everyone's a little, not too sure how to get into places and log in. Oh, well, we'll help you. We'll connect to your computer. They take you to a website. You enter in a code. You just let them open the front door to everything that you own on your computer. And now they're on your computer, and now they're going to help you log into your bank account. And little do you know that they're stealing your information on the backside of that. But virus and malware, guess what, cannot detect that, because it's not a virus or a malware that you allowed onto your computer. You allowed a legitimate piece of software to allow them to connect to you to help you. And now they're using a legitimate tool and using it for something nefarious in the back end. Has anyone here been a victim of ransomware, where all of your data is encrypted? I think the statistic a couple years ago was every 43 seconds somebody's being ransomed, your data's being encrypted. What does this mean? It means that you've clicked on something, or someone has infiltrated your network or environment in some way, and they have now releasing something that is not a virus or malware. It is an encryption tool. It's to help encrypt your data, keep it protected. But the threat actors are using it for not good. It's so that you actually can't get to your information. And any drive that you have plugged in, any connected drive, folder, everything is blocked. You can't open anything. So again, going back, I don't know what happened to Lori's Children's Hospital, but I can tell you that their computers were all off for over a month. So that's tough. So again, we now actually call things endpoint protection. So besides just virus and malware protection, this is just one little piece. This is one little layer. But here, it's about really looking at malicious behavior. So again, I had a customer a couple weeks ago, not the same customer that I just talked about, but another customer, that they called a phone number because they saw a charge on their credit card, and they Googled the phone number for that support. They were talking to Steve from Norton. It was not Steve from Norton, just like it wasn't Jake from State Farm. So he called the number, they called the number, the threat actor connected to their machine. 17 minutes later, we get a phone call saying, hey, my internet has stopped working on my computer. You need to fix this. We're trying to determine what the heck is going on. Like, why? Like, we're looking at lots of different things. And then I look in my email, and I see that their computer has been isolated from their entire network because they allowed a threat actor onto their machine. Our threat hunting software, which is not virus or malware detection, this is this threat hunting, It was analyzing, it saw that it was a legitimate piece of software that was installed, and then they realized that that software was then starting to do things it shouldn't be allowed to do on a computer. So it was doing things in the background like stealing credentials out of the browser and stealing information and downloading data in the back end that user had no idea. But this software stopped it from occurring. We were able to block that threat from happening. When I called that business owner and I said, I just wanted to let you know we determined what was wrong. You had allowed a threat actor onto your machine. Oh, no, I did not do that. Yes, you did. Here's the link that you went to. Here's what was downloaded. And here's what the 35 different pieces, or these persistent footholds, that's like a new word as well, persistent foothold, or malicious behavior that was happening. Again, not a virus or malware, but legitimate pieces of software trying to do things that it shouldn't be doing. So many times people will go to Norton support and they'll click on the top ad that pops up instead of true Norton website, and then they call the wrong phone number, and then a whole other different issue ensues. If it's on your statement, call that 1-800 number. If you're too scared to call that 1-800 number, call your credit card company. Don't Google your credit card company's phone number. Don't dial the phone number that you're questioning the email about. Call the known source that you have. Call that statement that you have that was mailed to you, that you have, that you physically have, that you know is real. Call that number that's on a business card or the number that's in your phone. The back of the credit card, exactly. How many of you have heard of something called business email compromise? Okay. I can tell you stories where someone has received an email. This happened during COVID. They received an email from a company that they're doing business with. Hey, it's during COVID. We're not going to be in the office, so instead of mailing us the check, wire the money here instead. It's COVID. We're not in our office. The email came from an email. Company name, legitimate stationery, names were all the same, but there was a slight difference. The domain was a .co, not a .com. The person sent over $500,000. $500,000 went over. They're wondering why the work hasn't started a month later. Gets another email. Hey, by the way, we need that final payment of $100,000. Send it here. Sent another $100,000. What was lacking in that? Can anyone tell me? Verification. Well, you can't say smarts because it looked just like it, right? Came from the person's email address. It was just social engineering. And sometimes you have to have other things, not technology, but processes in place. How many of you are getting emails maybe at your company saying, hey, this is Susie. I need to change where I'm getting my direct deposit. Can you please send it to this bank now instead? And it has Susie's first name and last name in the title. It's signed by them. It looks like it's them. It looks like their information. Maybe even contains their phone number. Because again, that's all information that they can get on the internet. And if you don't have a process in place, you're not going to be able to stop that. Because a lot of times the threat actors are using fake Gmail accounts, maybe a domain that looks just like yours, but it's a different letter or a different number that's different. And if you do that without asking a question or picking up the phone, there's going to be an incident that you're going to then need to rectify. So a lot of people may ask, what happened to that guy that sent the $500,000 and then the $100,000? Did he get his money back? No. Because it's not covered by a bank for you to wire money to the wrong account and to figure it out a month later. So it was that person's lack of awareness or process to call and to verify. There was another incident like a month ago in Singapore where a woman for I think a very well-known company that I don't know about right now, but that company, she was in a Zoom call with the CFO or the CEO of the company. And he said to her, hey, by the way, let's have you transfer this money, blah, 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 a Zoom call, video to video, over to this account, $25 million was transferred. Guess what? That was an AI-generated video. Oh my God. Oh. And there wasn't a process in place to verify that. There wasn't another control other than a conversation. And therefore, that company lost $25 million. I don't know if she still has her job, right? And I don't know if that was you, if you would be in business the next day. So it may not be 25 million, but how would you feel if you lost $5,000? How would you feel if you lost $10,000? How many of you have cyber security insurance for your business today? It's a separate rider. It's not included in your general liability. And it's scary what's happening. So what's at stake? Impersonating you, right? Someone now takes over your Facebook account or your social media account. And now they're calling people. I just had one person on Facebook. She lives in Libertyville. I went to high school with her. And I said, I emailed her brother-in-law. I said, did she really get Bitcoin certified? Like, I'm just seeing weird posts. Like this now person has graduated from my class, and I'm helping them make all this money. And they're like, no, her account was hacked. So now they've impersonated her. They're going to keep trying to gain access. Imagine if you're a nonprofit and your nonprofit Facebook page was taken over. And now all of a sudden, they're asking for money for your nonprofit that you've worked so hard for. And now those threat actors are in your account and taking your money that you're trying to use for your nonprofit. Some critical alerts, something that happened. I've had 2 cyber incidents for my customers in the last 24 hours. One happened this morning before coming here. I received an email alert from a tool that we utilize that said, hey, this customer just opened up a file in Korea. And I thought, wow. I invited them for lunch today, and they had a meeting in Lake Forest. So I don't think that they're in Korea. So let me notify them and ask them, who did you send this file to? Are they maybe in Korea? Let's analyze this. Just because I'm getting this alert doesn't mean that something bad is happening. It just means we need to look at this and we need to research this. Maybe somebody was using a VPN that said that they were in Korea. Maybe they wanted to watch a Korean TV show that was only available in Korea. Whatever it may be. That was not the case. The client, actually they're not in Lake Forest, but the client emailed, I said, well, who had access to this file? When was this done? This file was emailed to opposing counsel, once again. Opposing counsel, we don't know if maybe they were using a VPN. Did they forward that on to somebody else? Is their email compromised? And the only reason why we know this is because an email link was sent versus attaching a document. Like a paperclip, it was too big, so they couldn't send the document, so they sent it as a link. And that means that anyone that had access to that link had access and the ability to see that information that was in that file. That was confidential information. My client didn't have a compromise. The person that they sent it to had the compromise. Again, we talked about cyber attacks, Lurie's Children's Hospital. Again, can your business be down a month and not have access to your company information? So the phishing tank, this was not the MGM recent hack. This was a couple years ago. Everyone's like, oh, I'm updating my computers. I'm up to date. I've got all this cybersecurity involved. This casino was hacked, and they were down and they lost money because there was a thermometer, an IoT, a smart device. These smart devices are dumb, by the way. A smart device, the threat actors gained access into entry into the whole network of this casino based upon a little dumb device that was managing the temperature of the fish tank. So I'm here today to tell you it's not always about clicking a link or a virus or a malware. They're using this information and they're taking the data. Do you remember the city of Atlanta was down, right? They had to pay the ransomware. They asked for $52,000. The city paid almost $3 million. And then another $10 million. Guess what? Don't pay these threat actors. When you're paying these threat actors, guess who you're actually paying? You're paying the terrorists that are around the globe. You're paying cyber criminals, and they're going to continue to utilize your data and your information over and over again. Even if you pay, they still have your data, and they're going to use it against you. I received this email last night, like at 10 o'clock. Name redacted, or insert your name here, right? This was literally verbatim. So-and-so had a click incident from a phish attempt. Basically, they tried to open the document. It was shared from someone that they work with. When you have time, are you able to do a quick peek and see if it's just a virus or something else lurking there. Telling you, I can't just quickly look at something and say, oh yeah, you're fine. I don't know what you clicked on. I don't know what was in that email. I don't know what malicious fileless download could have been done. And I don't know what credentials you typed in. People tell me that they don't type things in, and we send out phishing campaigns to our customers that are aware of it. And we have reports, you get your name on a list, and we say, oh, you did enter in your credentials. You did fall victim to this. This happens all the time. My customers are really smart people. They're smarter than me. And this stuff, when it's real and it's happening to you and you're losing money, you may not get it back. We had another customer that had clicked 2 different things in like 2 days. Clicked a link on her phone. They clicked a link because they were just at the bank. They clicked the link that came through. It was a generic bank link. It wasn't from the bank. She supplied her bank credentials because she was just at the bank, right? Just like the attorney this morning, she thought this really was her Dropbox. They're already having an incident. She then supplies something else in an email, and we changed usernames, again, reusing all passwords everywhere. So guess what that means? We are in there, and we have to go through everything that's saved somewhere and try to determine the most important credentials first and start changing this. This is like now. You have to change this all now. And you can't use your machine because we don't know if your machine is compromised. That person, we help them call their bank to say, hey, can you please just freeze my account? I don't know where this compromise is coming from. It's now 8 o'clock at night. I don't know where this compromise is coming from. They've already lost $10,000 out of their bank account. Can you freeze the account? No, was the answer. The bank couldn't freeze it over the phone, even the fraud department. Something with the type of account that it was. Next morning, right? We think we've changed everything, right? And again, I've said, we do not know where this threat is coming from. I don't know what is where. Don't know if we've covered all the bases. Next morning, $200,000, 6 a.m. was taken out of her bank account again. Again, this is not FDIC insurance. How many people think FDIC insurance is going to cover you because money was transferred out of your account? No, that's for like when the bank shuts down, like what happened in San Francisco, not for when you have a cybercrime. It's going to depend on your relationship with the bank, and they don't have to give you that money back. She did get her money back, and the reason why they couldn't, the bank said, was because they had a trust account, and that trust account couldn't have been frozen, or the account online couldn't be frozen, or something to that effect. I never really got the right answer I wanted, and
it's not the sole owner.
Oh, it's not the sole owner. Oh, thank you, Bill. It's a trust. So, again, having those in place, knowing who to call first, and knowing what to say. A customer says, Lori, I left my computer. I know I shouldn't have let them onto my computer, but I did. And I say, okay, well, if they're on your computer, I'll connect to your computer. They're driving someplace. I connect, I see the threat actor software, again, legitimate software, I remove it. I restart the machine. Machine comes back up. And then I look in the history, and I see that that person's already been gone for 20 minutes. They called me in the car crying, and then I'm connecting to their machine, and I see that whoever was on their machine was actually logging in and out of their bank account already. They left the machine, and they were logging in and out of that bank account because the person's computer was already authenticated. Even if they had two-factor, it was already authenticated. And the threat actors were just logging in, changing, wiring money, buying gift cards. It's really hard to trace. It's really hard to find who these people are. They're using compromised accounts when they get onto your computer. It's crazy. The stuff I see is crazy.
They're using Macs.
And people are using Macs, PCs. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what device you have today. It's social engineering at its greatest. This living off the land, that's like your new cocktail hour conversation. Have you ever heard of this? Let people know. Someone said, oh no, I did not pay them. I didn't do anything like that. Okay. Because if you did pay them, we need to give you a different protocol of what you need to follow, right? I'll still give you the protocols because I never trust what people tell me because they just may not know what I'm describing or they may not realize what occurred. But we pulled up an image and there was a picture of the check that the guy wrote and sent the picture via email to the threat actor that was on their machine. Well, guess now what that threat actor has. The routing number, the name, the signature, the account information. And then they can start just all sorts of stuff. Bad people are bad people. So what's a strategy? I tell people, look around your room. Again, you can utilize the automated password generators that a lot of the sites use. You just have to understand how they work, and you have to verify it. My eyes can't handle it. So I look around the room. I see a white tablecloth. I see a brown square, right? It's a pillar, or a brown pillar. I come up with texture, fabric, words. I don't know what else. I see a black chair. So I come up with 2 words, put them together. I do special characters. I do numbers. And, it's a process when you have to go through and start changing everything. Where do you store it? I store it in a secured, configured password manager. And I make sure that my mobile device is configured properly. When we set up an account for an individual, one person, imagine, if this is like 17 people for a company, we do a training for the company. I had a company that couldn't afford it at first when we took them on as a customer, but they had a cyber incident. They had reused lots of passwords throughout their organization, throughout all of their users. And when they had an incident, we had to have a training, and they had to then they decided, okay, now this is really important because we just lost something significant here. Whatever that significant was, right? It was significant for them that they then bought the password manager. We have to configure everybody's personal device or maybe a work device, their mobile device, their computer. What kind of policy do you have in place if that employee leaves and those passwords are on that device? Can you go and can you legally, depending on your policy, take that password manager off? What's going to happen to the passwords that are there? You need to configure things on the different browsers. Like, what are they using? It takes a good hour for us to configure and to help educate you and the various, well, Lori, I use Edge. Well, Susie over here, she uses Chrome. Well, either as a company, we can enforce what you're going to use, right? But we work together with the company. But some people have a personal preference, and they may not have controls in place for me to dictate, okay, you're all going to use Chrome, you don't have. And so it really depends for each company. But we use a password manager. We have it set up with security so that if you mistype your password more than 3 times, you can't get in. It's locked out for over an hour. We can increase that or decrease that. We make it so that if you create your master password, same or similar as anything inside, you're logged out immediately and you have to change it. Right? It's Sparkle and Sparkle 1 and Sparkle 1 star. So if that word is there, you can never use that word again, ever. I don't care if it's your favorite child, your favorite pet. That name you just can't use anymore. You can go to a website called Have I Been Pawned, P-W-N-E-D. Yeah, Have I Been Pawned? And you can put in your email. And it won't tell you the actual password, but it will tell you what sites your email address has been compromised on. Again, when people say, oh, I'm too small to be affected or no one's going to come after me, I'm telling you, together, we need to band together and we need to educate our friends, our family. So whatever you do today, take away knowledge, take notes, and share this so that we can actually truly come together as a nation and protect our digital borders.
I just want us all to thank you.
I mean,